pray for one another and work together for the kingdom. And so we're separated by a few miles here in Ocean Bay. But Pastor Tim, just share with us. Thank you so much for the time and dedication that you have spent here at Coffeyville. And you'll definitely be missed when you're not in town.
Well, I want to share something before you leave.
Okay?
I probably haven't shared this with anybody, and I doubt I'll be able to talk very well tonight because I love you all. But when I graduated from Oral Roberts University, I sat in a room of doctor-level ministers and all my professors. And they go through this series of questions, checking your theology, one last time, checking you. And that's when they put their stamp of approval and say, okay, you have a good understanding of God's Word. And those men got up and came around me and prayed. And I felt such a connection of God at that moment. I knew that I was supposed to serve the rest of my life. And tonight, when you prayed for Gwen and I had that same feeling. It was the first time since then I had that feeling, and I knew that. And so when you prayed for us, I felt like I just immediately saw those men and the people that were around, and all of them that loved me and cared and wanted me to be able to be used by God. And I had that same feeling all the way back to seminary when I graduated in 95. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, Lord.
We love you much.
Never lost and reconfirming for God.
Yes.
But if He was done with us, we'd be somewhere else, church. We would be. If God was finished with you, I'd be waiting to see you in heaven. We'd be someplace else. But anyway, thank you, Pastor. That was awesome.
It was a special moment for me too. You know, I think about our lives. When I came here, I obviously had a long time of friendship with Pastor Randy. And in the process of all this, I remember the first time you and I had lunch together back at Galena area, and we talked. We just talked about God. We didn't even have to have a subject. We just talked about God, the awesomeness of God. I'll never forget that moment that we talked. And so I thought I came here to minister, which is why I came here. I didn't know I was coming here to heal. I didn't know that I was broken. I didn't know. Because in ministry sometimes you learn how to put on a face and just keep going. And it took me a little while when I got here to realize that I was broken. And so then I went, okay, God, I guess I need to sit down and listen a little. I got to be part of your lives. Your lives were a big part of my healing. Allowing me to walk with you through your challenges and the things that I was able to do, that God helped me do, made such a difference for me. I had no idea how much healing, but every time I watched one of you overcome, have a victory. I don't know, Pastor, if you've heard yet, but they did another culture on Danny the Thrower, and they can't find any Mercer in his body this afternoon. So, you keep having Axel is another one of those miracles. I mean, I could just start counting miracles of every kind all over this room. And you allowed me to be part of your life. It gave me hope and excitement and realized I was so broken. But in my brokenness, I was able to love you. And in that, you were able to help me heal. You're just as much a part of who I am today as I following God and listening to God, because you were there. And I think about one verse. I'm reading my new Bible that Gwen and I have. She says it's hers. I said it's ours. But it's called the Jesus-Centered Bible. If you ever want to read one that takes the Old Testament and focuses every time Jesus is referred to, it's an amazing Bible. It only comes in NLT though, so that's the only difference. But I want to look at one verse for a minute. You don't have to turn there. But it's in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. It says, we now have this light shining in our hearts. We've all been changed. You've been such a part of my life changing. But we ourselves are like fragile clay jars containing this great treasure. I just don't know if we understand sometimes this amazing treasure we carry. This amazing treasure that pours His oil over us and heals us and makes us whole and puts us back together. And my life has been going through that for the last year and a half or more. Your life, every time I got to touch one of you, I got to serve and help and love. They have a thing in Kansas City called Uber drivers. And when you hear me say, well, what are you doing? I'm taking so-and-so to the doctor. I'm taking so-and-so to another thing. I'm taking to... And so she called me the Uber driver of Coffeyville. But every time I was able to help somebody walk, you were part of my healing. You say I helped you. I'm glad I did. But you were just as much a help to me when I didn't even know it. And it wasn't until last February, March, and God started talking, and He said, you have another 15 years in ministry. I knew at least 15. When God was talking, I said, God, I want to do that alone. I said, I'll do whatever you ask, and I won't demand anything, but I don't want to do that alone. And so if you want somebody to blame me, blame Wanda. I'm helping Wanda tonight. Because Wanda and Rick had met, and I just hadn't sensed or felt anybody was the right person that was here in our communications, our Coffeyville area. And so she encouraged me to get on there, and I got on one. It was horrible. I was off in 15 minutes. I ain't gonna do that. No, go back and look. So I found one. And I put all this stuff about who I am and what I believe in God, and if you don't want to serve God, don't even waste your time calling me or sending me a message, because I didn't care. Because I was just that committed. And so she had the same, Gwen had the same thing on hers. And she saw mine and she said, hey, I like your profile and I like your picture. And so I sent her back a question. One question. She had asked for a godly man and somebody who wanted to serve God. I said, well, you ever thought about putting the two together? She said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm a pastor and that's all I know how to do is serve God and love. And He's turning me into a godly man more and more every day. She said, well, keep talking. And from there, God led us to a point that we have walked. We've gone through 10,000 miles in the last 5 months of me going back and forth to Kansas City. And it's been a lot. Some of that was my mom passing, but even that, and I want to tell you, everybody gets miracles. God's not a respecter of person. We may sometimes feel like it's taking too long. We may sometimes think I'll never make it. Hold on. But it says we never give up. We never surrender. We never quit, because our God, the treasure that we house, is so faithful. Pastor talked about grace. God has poured so much grace on me. I can't begin to imagine how much grace He's done to heal me, make me whole, and let me serve. So tonight, my hat goes off to you. You know, tonight, the only thing I had, Pastor, earlier, neither one of us had any change on us to put in the offering. So the only thing I had to put in the offering was we prayed over there. I said, God, we don't have any cash, but we give you the rest of our lives. Because this marks a day of transition for us. And I'm sure we're going to cross paths again. I've become too much in love with you here that I know our paths will cross. I don't know how, but Pastor and I have been long-time accountability partners before we ever got to ministry here. And so I know that we will. But I want to tell you, I will feel every one of your prayers October 1st when you pray for us for our wedding, because it's so great. But just ask God to continue to show you how great the treasure is inside you, how amazing He is, and the life He has for each one of you. I love y'all so much. God bless you. Thank you for everything you poured into me. I love you all. Bless you.
Treasures in clay jars. Amen. Thank you, Pastor Tim. That's powerful. And I tell all of you many times over, I hope you understand this, that we do sell ourselves short. Maybe that treasure, you hide it. Maybe your clay jar, you keep the lid on it, and you hide it under a bushel, then you put it in the garage. You know, it's not accessible to people. But that treasure that's inside you is so valuable that everybody needs to see it. And it is Jesus at the center. Finished with the right song, got the right Bible, right word. Well, I'm going to ask you to stand to your feet, and we're going to transition out to the fellowship hall. I'll pray a prayer of blessing over you, and then we'll go. Everybody's welcome to stay. Having a little card shower and some cake and some time out there, okay? Lord, we thank you for your love for us. We thank you for what's been expressed tonight by word and song.